A soft breeze drifts through the empty ballroom. Candles flicker against tall mirrors, and the sound of distant footsteps echoes like a secret returning home. The walls, once filled with laughter and music, now wait in silence for the next story to begin. The Tun sleeps, unaware that the season of whispers is about to awaken once more. In this quiet moment, a new chapter begins, one that will set hearts racing and reputations trembling. The camera glides slowly through the grand ballroom, its chandeliers casting golden light across polished floors. A single violin begins to play, soft and delicate, as if afraid to disturb the silence. The air feels heavy with memory of stolen glances, of forbidden love, of promises whispered under moonlight. The scent of roses lingers, faint but familiar, like a ghost from seasons past. As the music builds, the voice of the narrator begins calm, elegant, yet filled with quiet intrigue. The season of whispers returns, dear viewer, and with it comes the promise of love and the danger of being seen. The camera moves past an abandoned dance floor. A feathered mask lies forgotten on the marble steps, its ribbon tangled as though torn in haste. The image holds a reminder that in the Tun, beauty and betrayal often share the same face. Outside, a carriage rolls across cobblestone streets, its wheels slicing through the night. Behind its frosted glass, a shadow moves, perhaps a lady with secrets, perhaps a lord with guilt. The Tun prepares once more. The voice continues to dress its wounds with silk and its truths with smiles. The scene shifts, ribbons tied to doorways, florists arranging bouquets, servants whispering of guests who will soon arrive. Every detail is perfect, every secret rehearsed. A young maid glances out a window, watching the carriages line the street. She knows that behind every arrival, a story begins, one that might end in love or in ruin. The music deepens, and with it, the feeling of anticipation. The ballroom lights return, one by one, until the hall glows with soft amber warmth. A gust of wind sweeps through the curtains, carrying a folded piece of paper that lands on a table near the window. The camera moves in close. The note is sealed with wax, but its edges tremble in the wind as if eager to be opened. The narrator lowers their voice, the tone sharper now. Every season brings a promise, but promises in this world are made to be broken. The letter is lifted by an unseen hand. The wax seal breaks. Inside, the ink glimmers faintly under the candlelight, and though we cannot yet read the words, the expression of the unseen figure tells us enough. Shock, fear, hope. Whatever lies written on that page will change everything. As the violin fades, the room falls silent once more. Only the flicker of candles remains, and in their light, the reflection of a new story begins to form. Dawn breaks softly over London, painting the rooftops in shades of gold and rose. The first light touches the windows of Bridgerton House, where curtains flutter like they too have been waiting for this day. Across the city, the sound of carriage wheels begins to echo through quiet streets. The Tun is waking. The season has begun. The narrator's voice returns, smooth and knowing. The city stirs once again. Velvet gowns are pressed, jewels polished, and secrets carefully rehearsed. We glide through narrow alleys where bakers open their shops and chimney smoke curls into the morning air. Then, a sharp transition. The camera enters the world of the elite. A flurry of servants rushes through vast corridors, arranging flowers, setting tables, preparing invitations written in gold. Each envelope carries a destiny sealed with wax. At the heart of it all stands the grand ballroom, no longer empty. Chandeliers blaze to life, their light falling upon polished floors that have witnessed more than 1,000 steps of love and betrayal. The air hums with quiet tension, like a heartbeat before the dance begins. In a dressing room lined with mirrors, a young debutante takes a deep breath. Her mother fastens a pearl necklace around her throat, whispering that tonight, everything changes. Her reflection trembles, not from fear but from the weight of hope. The camera lingers on her eyes, full of dreams and questions that only the season can answer. Meanwhile, in a darker corner of the city, a figure cloaked in shadow rides by candlelight. The scratching of the quill is the only sound. Words spill across the page, observations, rumors, and truths disguised as gossip. The Tun believes its secrets are safe behind silk and charm, The narrator murmurs, but ink has a way of uncovering even the deepest deceit. We move back to the streets. Horses trot past the Duke's estate, where curtains shift as someone watches unseen. A man stands at the balcony, his expression unreadable. He has been gone for seasons, yet the city remembers his name. Tonight, he returns, and with him, a storm long overdue. Music swells again, this time faster, livelier. The ton gathers men in tailored coats, women shimmering in pastel gowns, each smile polished, each glance deliberate. The scent of lavender and ambition fills the air. The Queen's arrival is announced with trumpets that seem to shake the walls themselves. All heads bow. All eyes wait for her judgment. The narrator's voice drops to a whisper. In this world, reputation is currency, and one misstep can cost a fortune. The Queen's gaze moves across the crowd, calm, commanding. Then, a faint smile touches her lips. The season has been declared open. The orchestra begins its first note, violins intertwining like fates. Couples step forward to dance, their movements perfect, their secrets perfectly hidden. As the scene unfolds, the camera lifts above the ballroom. From this height, the dancers look like pieces in a grand game, each moving with purpose, each unaware of who truly holds the pen that writes their story. The voice of the unseen writer returns, softer this time, almost wistful. And so it begins, another season of love and lies, another chance for the heart to rise or to be ruined. The lights of the ballroom blur into a sea of gold. The music fades, leaving behind a single echo, the sound of a page turning. Night falls softly upon London, wrapping its streets in quiet mystery. The laughter of the day fades, replaced by the low hum of secrets traveling through candlelit halls. A storm brews in the distance, not of thunder, but of ink. Somewhere behind a locked door, a new hand begins to write. The world believes Lady Whistledown still holds the quill, but tonight, someone else writes the story. The camera drifts through fog-drenched alleys, past shadowed carriages and closed shopfronts. Rain glimmers on cobblestones as a figure cloaked in black walks alone. Their steps are measured, silent. They carry a leather-bound book close to their chest, a book that could destroy reputations before the next sunrise. The narrator speaks with a tone colder now, laced with curiosity. Every whisper begins with a watcher, and every truth, with someone brave enough to record it. Inside a dimly lit room, the mysterious writer sits before a candle that flickers against the walls. Sheets of parchment cover the table, each filled with names, dates, and moments caught when no one was looking. Their hand moves quickly, fueled by purpose, or perhaps revenge. The scratching of the quill grows louder, matching the rhythm of the rain outside. They pause, dipping the pen once more into ink, and whisper the words they write. London's hearts are aflame once again, and it is not love that burns, but pride. The scene shifts, glimpses of the ton appear between strokes of lightning. A lord exchanging glances with a woman not his wife. A debutante tearing a letter before dawn. A familiar figure leaving a masked ball through the servant's door. Each moment captured as if the city itself has eyes. The voice continues, low and deliberate. The ton may dance, drink, and deceive, but even the finest masks cannot hide a trembling heart. As the rain intensifies, the writer seals an envelope with dark red wax. No signature, only an emblem, the outline of a feather dipped in ink. They blow gently on the wax, then set the letter aside. A servant enters, bows silently, and takes it away. The delivery begins. Across town, a butler discovers the same envelope upon a doorstep. He frowns, calls for his mistress, and within moments the household is awake. Curtains are pulled, gasps fill the hall, and soon the letter's contents spread faster than fire. By sunrise, every drawing room will echo with the same question: who has taken Lady Whistledown's place? The narrator's tone turns almost playful now, though the words still carry weight. The ink may be new, but the hunger remains the same. To be seen, to be envied, to be remembered. We return to the writer, now standing by the window, watching the rain fall over the city. The candle burns low, melting into shadow. For the briefest moment, lightning reveals their face, not fully, only the curve of a cheek, the glint of a cold smile. Then darkness claims it once more. The rain has stopped, but the air still hums with tension. Morning sunlight drips through the curtains like gold poured over secrets. London awakens again, but something feels different. The ton walks the streets with new caution, as if every step could set off an echo they can no longer control. The writer's new words have spread like wildfire, and now every glance hides suspicion. Every smile conceals a fear. In the marketplace, whispers replace greetings. The florist pauses mid-arrangement as two ladies in pastel gowns trade hushed rumors over roses. The tailor lowers his voice as a duke's name is spoken too loudly. Truth has become a currency, and gossip the crown that everyone wants to wear. The ballroom once again gleams with color, but beneath its beauty lies unrest. The orchestra begins its melody, yet the music feels heavier, slower, as if the violins themselves know the tragedy they are about to score. A young man in navy stands by the balcony, his eyes fixed on the crowd below. Across the room, a woman in silver turns away, her expression unreadable. Between them lies a history written in silence and regret. The dance begins. Their hands meet not by chance, but by something deeper. The camera circles them, the world fading until only the two remain. For a moment, everything feels still. The music softens. The lights dim, and their breath sinks as if caught between forgiveness and farewell. The narrator continues, voice steady yet aching. In every season of love, there comes a moment when choice outweighs destiny. Suddenly, the door bursts open. A messenger rushes in, breathless, holding a letter sealed in dark wax. The music halts. Every head turns. The Queen's Guard takes it, carries it to her. Her Majesty breaks the seal, unfolds the paper, and silence falls over the hall. The narrator lowers their tone to a whisper. Another letter, another truth unveiled, another heart undone. The Queen's gaze sweeps the room, sharp as glass. She says nothing, only folds the letter again and leaves the ballroom. Panic ripples like wind across the floor. Eyes dart. Secrets tremble on lips. The camera lingers on the young man and woman once more, their hands parting, their faces pale. Whatever was written in that letter has undone them both. Outside, the writer watches from the shadows of the garden. Their gloved hand closes the notebook with quiet finality. The candle beside them flickers, its flame bending low before dying. The voice returns, gentle now, almost tender. Love is the finest scandal of all, because even when it breaks us, we still long for it to begin again. The music swells one last time, a harmony of violins and heartbeats. The camera pulls away from the mansion, rising above London as dawn paints the sky with fire. The narrator speaks the final words. The season ends as it always does, with broken hearts, burning letters, and the promise of one more chapter. The city lies quiet once more. The chaos has settled, yet the echoes remain, whispers lingering like perfume in the morning air. Streets glisten under the first rays of dawn, and London seems to hold its breath. The games, the glances, the heartbreak, all have led to this. The camera moves slowly over rooftops still wet with rain, past carriages abandoned in silence, and finally to the grand doors of Bridgerton House. Inside, the ballroom stands empty again, but not lifeless. The faint hum of yesterday's orchestra still drifts in the air, soft and haunting, like the memory of a dream that refuses to fade. A single candle burns at the center of the room, surrounded by petals scattered like fallen confessions. The camera glides closer to a lone parchment resting beside it, sealed with the mark of the Tun's newest writer. The narrator's voice returns, calm and deliberate. The season may have ended, but the story has only begun. As the candle flickers, the wax seal melts and the letter unfolds on its own. Words appear in glimmering gold ink, one by one, mysterious, elegant, and commanding attention. The narrator continues, each word filled with quiet power. Prepare your hearts, dear reader, for the next invitation has already been written. A breeze sweeps through the hall, carrying loose petals into the air. The camera follows them as they swirl upward, transforming into trails of golden light. The orchestral score begins to rise slow at first, then swelling into a triumphant crescendo. The narrator's tone deepens. Love returns to the Tun, fiercer than before. Old promises shall be tested, new bonds shall be forged. And when the music begins once more, no one will leave unscathed. The golden trails burst into a dazzling display as they form shimmering letters across the dark screen. The music cuts sharply to silence, and then, softly, the words "Apra Bridgerton Season 4 arriving, release date for a breath." Time stands still. The letters glow, pulsing with the rhythm of a heartbeat. Then the Netflix logo fades in below, illuminated in crimson and gold. The narrator delivers the final line, tender yet filled with promise. When hearts speak louder than words, the tongue listens. Bridgerton returns, and so does desire. The candle's flame burns out completely, leaving only the faint sound of a violin playing in the distance. As the music fades, the final screen appears dark, elegant, and complete. Netflix presents Bridgerton Season 4, where every secret is written in love. The page fills with faint sketches of ballroom reawakening, faces half seen, lovers half known. The ink flows freely, pulling us back into the world that refuses to sleep. Across the paper, the shadows of the ton reappear, gossipers, dreamers, wanderers, all waiting for their next story to be written. We see glimpses of a lady standing on a balcony, gazing toward the horizon. A gentleman riding alone through the mist. The queen, her expression unreadable, holding a letter she has not yet opened. The camera lingers on the quill once more as the narrator continues, voice almost reverent. Love does not vanish when the season ends. It lingers in the ink, in the air, in every trembling heartbeat that still dares to hope. The quill pauses. The candle beside it flickers weakly, its flame nearly gone. Yet before it fades, the writer finishes one last line, to be continued. A deep silence follows. Then, a single note from a cello fills the air, slow, rich, and haunting. The page begins to burn from the edges, not in destruction but in transformation. The flames curl the parchment, and as they do, the ashes rise, turning into a constellation of glowing stars that float into the night sky. The narrator's tone turns wistful, filled with quiet pride. The tongue may forget the names, the faces, the rumors, but stories such as these, they never die. They merely wait for another heart to write them anew. The stars shift, aligning into the shape of a quill once more before scattering across the heavens. The orchestral music swells, carrying both sorrow and anticipation. Bridgerton Season 4 only on Netflix. A final pause. Then, a whisper barely heard, almost as if from the writer themselves. Dearest reader, you thought you knew how this story ends. You were mistaken. The music fades into a soft hum, like the final sigh of a long-forgotten song. The camera drifts through London one last time, the streets quiet, the windows dark, the echoes of laughter now just memories carried on the wind. The world of the ton has gone still, as if the city itself is holding on to the breath between endings and beginnings. The narrator's voice returns, gentle yet certain. Every story leaves behind a trace, a scent of roses, a whisper of silk, a promise of one more dance. Though the night has ended, the hearts it touched still beat beneath the surface. We move past the empty ballroom, now bathed in silver light. The floor that once shimmered with footsteps lies untouched. Only a single rose remains, fallen near the center, its petals curling in quiet surrender. The camera lingers there, then rises slowly toward the ceiling where the grand chandelier glows faintly, the last spark of a fading dream. The narrator continues. The season closes its doors, but love does not rest. It lingers in the air, waiting for another chance, another letter, another glance to begin it all again. A soft piano note plays as we cut to a desk bathed in candlelight. A hand familiar, poised, and calm closes a journal embossed with golden letters, Bridgerton. The hand pauses, resting on the cover as if saying goodbye to something too precious to let go. Then, almost tenderly, the fingers open the book once more. A new page waits blank, untouched. The quill is lifted. The nib hovers over the paper. The narrator whispers the final words. Because in every ending, there is always a beginning waiting to be written. The quill touches the page, leaving the first glimmer of ink, a single word. Soon, the orchestral score swells to a crescendo of violins and cellos, grand and emotional. The screen begins to fade into gold dust as the music holds its final note. Then, in perfect silence, the words appear glowing softly. One line at a time. Bridgerton Season 4 coming soon only on Netflix. A final pause. The Netflix logo fades in, bold and red against the dark. The last voice line echoes through the silence, almost like a secret pact between lovers. Dearest reader, the heart never forgets its favorite story. The screen fades to black. A final heartbeat sound, then nothing but stillness. And